The iPhone 18 Pro leak implies Apple may forego big design changes. While the iPhone 17 series only recently hit the market, early leaks regarding Apple's 2026 flagships are already starting to surface. A recent leak indicated a unique hole-punch camera positioning for the iPhone 18 Pro variants. However, the latest leak implies those looking for a radical revamp may want to temper their expectations. According to Chinese leaker Fixed Focus Digital, the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max are unlikely to undergo any dramatic outward modifications. The rear design, in particular, is reported to remain virtually unchanged, with Apple keeping to a familiar camera configuration and overall style. As for the rumor concerning the introduction of under-display tech and the removal of the dynamic island, the current revelation casts doubt on the timing. Realistically, Apple is likely to retain anything groundbreaking for its 20th anniversary iPhone, due to come in 2027. So, if the 2026 iPhones come as a small refresh over the freshly revamped iPhone 17 series, it wouldn't be too surprising. Apple is likely to continue employing the present pill-shaped cutout design for at least another generation, while the UDC tech it's known to have been working on for a while gets some final refinement. That said, this is still extremely early in the product cycle. There's still lots of time before the 2026 iPhones reach mass production, a time frame when supply chain specifics normally become clearer. Until then, plans could still change. For now, the report alludes to another evolutionary update rather than a visual overhaul, something Apple has leaned on regularly in recent years. Apple's accelerated manufacturing plan demonstrates tremendous confidence in this strategic change. Small-scale manufacturing runs will start once factories return to normal operations following the Lunar New Year shutdown, suggesting Apple is fully committed despite the operational complexity of managing dual launch windows with different manufacturing requirements, marketing campaigns, and supply chain coordination. The effects extend far beyond release timing modifications. Apple's transition matches with changes in software upgrades, with bigger spring OS updates supporting spring hardware deliveries. This means we're witnessing a fundamental reworking of Apple's entire product development lifecycle, not merely a tactical release schedule experiment. Manufacturing diversity gives strategic resilience to this shift. Manufacturing testing for lower-cost models will take place in India as Apple continues diversifying its supply chain away from China. This worldwide expansion provides operational flexibility while decreasing geopolitical concerns, but it also indicates Apple's dedication to making the split launch plan work across several manufacturing regions and partner agreements. The financial repercussions could affect Apple's quarterly performance patterns. Apple's usual revenue pattern involves significant Q4 jumps following September releases, followed by falling quarters. The new technique might provide more steady quarterly performance, which investors generally prefer over fluctuating earnings patterns, thus enhancing Apple's stock valuation through more predictable income streams. The iPhone 18 series showcases Apple's most advanced silicon and photography technology to date. All versions will employ Apple's A20 chip, created on TSMC 2nm technology, bringing considerable increases in both performance and power efficiency. The move to 2nm technology allows more transistors in each chip, which leads to considerable real-world benefits beyond benchmark gains. The 2nm manufacturing development allows more complex AI processing capabilities, increased battery life through higher efficiency, and enhanced graphics performance for demanding workloads. For users, this implies speedier app launches, more responsive multitasking, improved computational photography, and longer device lifespan, all practical gains that justify the split launch strategy's complexity. Camera technology receives extensive enhancements across the entire lineup. All iPhone 18 models will sport a 24-megapixel front-facing camera, up from 18 megapixels, while the iPhone 18 Pro variants could feature variable aperture technology for the main camera. Variable aperture technology adds DSLR-like versatility to smartphone photography, allowing users to manipulate depth of field and exposure with accuracy previously unattainable in mobile devices. The Pro variants provide even more powerful imaging capabilities. At least one iPhone 18 Pro model may have a new 3-layer stacked image sensor created by Samsung, potentially changing low-light photography capabilities through enhanced light collection and processing efficiency. This approach targets one of the few remaining areas where smartphone cameras lag behind traditional photography equipment. Significantly, the ordinary versions gain major hardware enhancements that have stayed reserved for Pro devices. Apple is likely to enhance the RAM of the iPhone 18 base model to 12 gigs, representing a substantial increase that should improve AI performance, multitasking capabilities, and general system responsiveness. This RAM boost demonstrates Apple's confidence in delivering premium experiences throughout the whole iPhone 18 series. The autumn 2026 launch window represents Apple's premium innovation display. Expectations point to 3 flagship models: the iPhone 18 Pro, the iPhone 18 Pro Max, and the iPhone Fold. This establishes a distinct premium tier focused on early adopters and people prepared to pay top price for cutting-edge technologies. The foldable iPhone deserves special attention as Apple's most ambitious hardware breakthrough in recent years. The device will feature a book-style design with a 5.3-inch external display and a 7.6-inch inside display. What potentially sets Apple apart from Samsung and Google's foldable attempts is a breakthrough that could redefine the category. Apple has successfully created technology that eliminates the apparent wrinkle commonly observed in foldable gadgets. This engineering achievement overcomes the fundamental aesthetic concern that has hampered mass foldable adoption. The invention comes with premium pricing expectations. The handset might cost between $1,800 and $2,500, establishing it as Apple's most costly iPhone ever. For comparison, the Z Fold 7 starts at $1,999, while the Pixel 10 Pro Fold starts at $1,799, so Apple's price plan appears competitive within the foldable market, while exacting a premium for the crease-free technology. Spring 2027's launch strategy targets a totally different market group. The normal iPhone 18 and iPhone 18e will launch together, concentrating on mainstream customers and budget-conscious buyers who favor basic iPhone functionality over cutting-edge capabilities. This timing leverages seasonal purchase trends that Apple has historically misused, potentially grabbing market share during normally slower sales periods when fresh hardware could provide a competitive edge. The spring lineup satisfies people who desire solid iPhone experiences without paying high fees for experimental technology. It's Apple's deliberate acknowledgement that the iPhone market spans varied demands and budgets, allowing each launch window to serve its intended audience without forcing direct rivalry between premium innovation and broad accessibility. Apple is completely abandoning its customary approach to iPhone releases. For over a decade, Apple has introduced all iPhone models simultaneously in September, but the iPhone 18 range changes everything. The iPhone 18 Pro variants will arrive in September 2026 alongside Apple's first foldable iPhone, while the ordinary iPhone 18 will come in spring 2027. This constitutes the most striking break from Apple's established pattern since the iPhone's launch. The last time Apple announced only 3 flagship iPhones was 2019, when the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max landed together. Since then, we've routinely gotten 4 iPhones every fall, establishing a predictable but increasingly complex product matrix. The strategic explanation behind this decision becomes evident when you analyze Apple's operational issues. Apple intends to smooth out its revenue, relieve strain on its teams, give each item a clear spotlight, and respond more quickly to competition by spreading launches throughout the year. Instead of one major September event followed by months of relative quiet, Apple is creating what amounts to a continuous innovation cycle. This method tackles real operational pain points Apple has faced with simultaneous launches, from manufacturing bottlenecks and component shortages to marketing bandwidth limits and retail partner coordination issues. By allocating full organizational resources to fewer devices at each launch window, Apple might possibly deliver more polished experiences while lowering the risk of supply chain disruptions that have previously limited feature availability across different models. The timeline is aggressive and meticulously controlled. Production lines for iPhone 18 Pro versions have already been constructed, indicating that Apple has locked in the Pro hardware design well ahead of schedule. What's particularly striking about Apple's confidence in this strategy is the timing. Full-scale production might resume before the Chinese Spring Festival on February 17, setting the stage for what promises to be Apple's most complex product launch ever. Here's what makes this production ramp-up so significant. Apple isn't only prepping for one launch anymore. They're organizing two unique launch windows across multiple production complexes, each with specific supply chain demands, component allocation techniques, and market positioning. It's essentially like Apple is conducting twin iPhone operations within one company, one focusing on premium innovation for fall 2026, the other aiming for general accessibility for spring 2027. Manufacturing teams across Apple's supply chain are working extra right now, and it's not just for the typical iPhone production cycle. Apple's manufacturing partners are gearing up for something unique in the company's recent history, a total overhaul of the iPhone release strategy that could redefine how we think about smartphone launches. Manufacturing preparation for the iPhone 18 series has already begun, with trial production commencing as early as January. This isn't simply another iPhone upgrade cycle. It's Apple's largest strategic shift in years, radically changing when and how we'll get our hands on new iPhones. So stay tuned for more updates and information on the highly anticipated iPhone 18 Pro Max and witness the future of foldable smartphones from Samsung. See you in my next video. Peace out.